This is a Gorilla Podcast Network production.
Welcome to the Late Night PotLuck Show. PotLuck Show. PotLuck Show. PotLuck Show.
Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Late Night PotLuck Show, episode 16. This is your host, Dave, hanging out here with the crew here at the Night Owl studio. How you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good.
I'm doing amazing.
That's great. That's great. I'm excited for tonight's show. We got a cool guest. But before we begin, I got a couple of updates for you guys. We got a lot of exciting things happening at the Night Owl studio. We've been streaming on the SoundCloud since the beginning.
Yes.
But now I've announced we're now on Spotify and iTunes, so that's a big deal. We're expanding. Absolutely. And we're also putting out videos on YouTube. So check that out. Just do a search. Do a search on all those platforms, Late Night PotLuck Show, and there we are. Also, we'll be accepting. We just got a new sponsorship and advertisement program. You know, keep the show rolling. Also, help out local businesses. Spread the word for them. So let's just jump in. Let's hear about you guys. How you guys doing? Let's start out with Riel, since she's all the way handling the camera for us.
Hey, Riel.
Yes, he didn't start with me this week.
He's excited about the food.
You can smell it. It smells so good in here.
What's going on with you, Marsha?
Nothing much. I had a graduation. My little brother graduated today, so I had
Nice.
that, and we went to Seaside Park. Were you at the park?
I was.
Yeah, I walked to the lighthouse again, so that was fun.
Right.
He didn't invite me.
Again.
Nope, again.
But it is like
He told me last week he was going to invite me. He didn't invite me.
I was doing baseball versus Stratford, and then
Okay.
just walked right over.
That's fine.
Easy. I don't.
You just have
You
to
act
follow,
like-
you have to follow the story.
No, so listen to this. Like, I was down the street from the beach, right? At
Oh.
Park City Harvest. I went to go
Uh-huh.
see Park City Harvest. They had a plant sale today.
Nice.
And
That's
he liked it, right? He liked the video.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that it's up the street from Seaside.
Right.
And he didn't invite me. So
I
see how
I
it is.
left it alone because I thought he was doing the same thing you were doing. Remember you working on the garden?
Oh,
I don't work at the
So
garden.
I was like, let me not interact with him. He's gonna invite me to work
on the garden,
on the
right?
garden.
Yeah, you don't want that invitation.
It's okay.
But you had this talk last week, and you said that you would want to be invited, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
'cause
he
I-
didn't.
and he didn't.
He didn't invite me.
Last
That
week
being,
was
I don't work for
the fire pit and the cigars, and
Yeah.
you know.
That being, I have my own cigar and my own fire pit somewhere.
What else is going on with you, Manny?
Oh my God!
Yeah, besides the
So
plant
again, I was at the plant sale. I went to pick up a few different plants.
What'd you get?
I got some spearmint because the wife is on this mojito kick. Ever since Puerto Rico, we went to this spot in Luquillo.
You know they have mojito
Nice.
mint, like mint that grows specifically for them to make mojitos with. I need to find
Which one's that? It's
don't
usually
know.
spearmint
I
that they
need to
use.
find it.
Spearmint's the
Are they like the big leaves?
yeah, it's they usually
Okay.
get pretty big.
Right now.
So we went and I got their last 3 spearmint plants,
Of
which was a
course.
great deal. They're like 8-inch plants already, and they were only $1. Like, so I picked them all up. Picked up some. Oh my God. Picked up that. Picked up a sunflower for my mom because she's extra Puerto Rican, so she loves the sunflowers. She likes sunflowers. You go to Puerto Rico, you walk around and they don't sell roses. Like, you walk
Is that-
around and they sell sunflowers.
I saw a house that's like filled
Yeah.
with sunflowers. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
assuming
probably
they're Puerto
Puerto
Rican. Okay.
I got a sunflower. I got that. I got a jalapeno plant, habanero plant, and then I picked up listen to this, a loofah plant.
Oh, you know, I just recently learned that was even a
Like
plant.
the loofah, like the one you wash yourself with.
It's a plant.
Like
gross.
it's an actual plant.
And then they dry it
They
up?
dry it out.
So what you do is, and when they're small plants, and it's the seeds are originally from Haiti, so they're
really?
indigenous plants to there. When they're small, they said, from what I understood, they look like kind of like bananas.
Or
and
like a
something like that.
zucchini
Yeah, it's
or
weird.
squash.
When they're small, you can eat them.
Mm-hmm.
But then as they get larger, you allow it to dry out on the plant,
Okay.
let it dry out, and then you peel it, and then you shake the seeds out, right? Wash it up, and then it comes out like that.
So you have a new
loofah.
business.
I hope so. Shoot, I'm gonna.
Manny's loofah.
What? Manny's loofah?
Wash
Let
my
me wash
loofah.
your ass. But I got that because I was like really interested in saying, like, you know what, this would be really cool because I know with sponges, right? Purchase sponges, you can actually get natural sponges from the ocean, like they harvest those and you can use those. But I didn't know like loofahs were like legit.
So keep an eye out.
In your backyard,
Bath and Beyond.
Bed Bath and Beyond, man, these loofahs. Nah, but I was there. I got some more plants. I'm really excited to keep my deck system going right now. I added some accent lights and whatnot. So it's kind of what I've been doing.
You should be inviting us to your backyard.
I am. I'm gonna invite you to my backyard and them.
Not Dave.
But not Dave.
Wait. I do have something to invite you to.
Here we go. I'm not working.
This is on the record too, so.
Last week was on the record.
Okay.
Right, Hector?
I want to build some.
Right? It was on the record.
I heard it.
You heard it.
That's right. I want to build some garden plots.
He just wants you to
He
work.
texted me earlier this week. Hey, where do you work again?
Yeah.
I need you to do something for me. Thanks,
I got a
boss.
job for you.
Yeah.
So with me, man, I just celebrated 4-year anniversary. Well,
Congratulations.
4-year
Nice.
wedding anniversary.
Congrats.
We've been together for like
That's awesome.
10 years. But my wife was like, "Listen, don't buy me flowers. Just take me. I want steak. Let's go out to eat." And I asked a few guys at work, like, what do you recommend? And 2 guys said, you got to go to Prime 111
Oh, 111, the one in Trumbull.
in Trumbull.
Okay.
Because there's 116 in Milford, right?
Right. We went to the 111 in Trumbull, and I gotta tell you, they were really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good. The wife did. She got the New York strip. I did the Cajun shrimp linguine. Oh. You know
Come
what?
on, what's wrong
My
with American Steakhouse?
No, listen. No, ain't nothing wrong. That's my mom's favorite place right there.
You gotta zoom in on that face right there.
You heard shrimp. You heard shrimp. It was game over.
No, my favorite part of the dish I ordered was the bread that they have sitting in the
oil and
just soaking in that juice. So when you were done with the pasta and the shrimp, that juice in the bottom was gone because I was just soaking it all up.
So good.
Yo, the look these two, they're like.
It's like a poem.
I was
you're
surprised
telling
my
me.
shirt was
I was watching them. Listen,
clean.
Yeah,
Like,
listen,
I
you
was
can't-
watching them in the truck. They're literally like the same.
see how close they're sitting? There's like
Look,
they're like born at birth together.
that's funny.
every look the same. They both gave me the same reaction when I went live on Instagram. They're
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh, man. Got nervous.
So again, we got a cool guys in here. Awesome guests. Without further ado, we got some good food here. Oh, smells so good in here. Without further ado, let me just introduce you guys. These guys mastered the art of the Philly cheesesteak. These are the trio, the cheese steak trio. We got Hector Medina, Rene Medina, and Jimmy Ramos. How you guys doing?
Good.
Guys from the M&M Steaks,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Introduce yourself. Go right ahead.
Take a couple minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So M&M Steaks was made about 2 years ago. Right away, I called my brother Rene, talked to him, said, "Hey, listen, this is a venture I want to get started in. I want you to be a part of it." And then me and him kind of just took off and did all the work for like a couple months. And then my son was born a little early, and so we had an event that day. And I was like, "Oh my God, Rene, we're gonna have to cancel the event. I don't know what we're gonna do." So he said, "Call Jimmy," because Jimmy has had some experience in the food truck industry. And so I called Jim, and he started that day, and it was good because I was able to enjoy my son and also know that business was getting taken care of.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm
Nice.
super excited. Rene?
That was too short.
He wasn't ready yet.
minutes.
He was still thinking about linguine.
In a couple minutes. Oh no, my name's Rene Medina. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's been a good adventure so far. I get so nervous when I do this because the camera's
How many
right on me.
times have you done this? This
Never.
guy's famous.
But no, it's good. It's definitely fun. Family business. We haven't had a single person in that, working for us. There's days where we all have to take off, and I got kids too, and it's just been good. We've had mom working in there, sister, cousins,
Nice.
uncles,
Yeah.
our grandmother. I'm just kidding.
Put 'em
I'm
on.
saying it's
We got to get Abuela out there, right? Hey, I mean, but it says it on your truck. You pointed it out earlier, right? From our family to yours.
Yeah, it's
right?
you know, my big thing is you know, you listen to everybody and you know the things they do. My big thing is you know, we all have matching tattoos in my family. Me, my brother, sister, mom, and Bianca. We all went and got matching tattoos. Family's a big thing in the Puerto Rican culture, you know.
Absolutely.
And so when I knew that I was going to be doing something that was going to grow and get big, I had to bring, you know, got to bring the family with you.
Yeah,
And everybody's answered the call, you know. Today, we had 2 events come up. And I had to figure out if I could work both of them. So I started calling my sister. She's like, yeah, drop whatever I got to do. I'll be there. So we were able to be at 2 places at once today and represent, you know, 2 different places and keep the M&M steak strong. And we were able to do that because family answered the call. And they have.
That's awesome. How long has M&M's been running?
This will be our 2nd year.
It's like 2 years.
Yeah.
And you guys are killing it out there.
Yeah, we every single weekend this month is already booked. And so in July, we have half the weekends already booked. And we already have weddings for next year. People have been calling us.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Weddings.
It's exciting.
Cheesesteaks for weddings.
Yeah. I told the lady called me, we want to do a Philly cheesesteak truck. I said, you have a white dress? She said, yeah. I said, you're going to have to hit me after the pictures.
Well, they could do the destroy the dress right there and then.
oh god.
Cheese everywhere.
So, how did it all start? Like, where the inception? Who came up with the idea?
Okay, so my partner, Dan Molino, we sat down, we talked, and we were... and we were coming together, and I thought he was asking me to come up with an idea for him, you know, because I have expertise in the food industry. And so he said he's from Philly, so we Googled, you know, Philly cheesesteak trucks in New England. No one, you know. There's a food truck out of Monroe that has a Philly cheesesteak on their menu, but that was about as much as I could find. So it's hard, especially with Connecticut, because the food trucks are getting huge, you know. There's like 46 taco trucks, you know, 1,400 pizza trucks.
46. There's 46 in New Haven alone.
Yeah, I'm on board.
You're serving right now.
Crazy part is they're all selling tacos, but they all eating.
Yeah.
Like that's the
Taquitos, arepas, oh man.
everything.
Yo,
So
Yo, all this food talk. I'm sorry, but
I
all
get
this
it.
No,
food
I
talk,
see you.
bro.
I gotta apologize.
I want to eat. Like,
Man, he's over here punching me in my rib.
I saw that. He's looking at the food. He's like, come on, man.
Oh,
Look at it.
yo.
So yeah, talk about it. Go ahead.
I was
Talk
gonna say, you want me
about
to talk about the
Yeah,
sandwiches?
hit us with it.
I'm gonna do one, then you do one. We're gonna pick. It's gonna be like chess. Not chess. Tic tac toe.
it. Skill level. Really, that was a big difference in skill level.
Yeah, no. What are you talking about? So we have the Quinmeister here. As you can see, this one comes with pepper jack cheese, jalapenos. You know, on the bread, we use ribeye, top sirloin for all of them. We mix the 2 together, so you get the fattiness with the ribeye, which is what I like, and then you get the top sirloin, which is leaner, which is what my wife really likes, because you know she has nothing to do with the trucks, but she made sure to have her piece.
Absolutely.
And so that's the Quinmeister. All the sandwiches, by the way, when you hear the sandwiches, every single one is named after me or my partner's kids, except
Okay.
for the Hector's original. That one's after me. Yeah.
Of course. Right.
So Rene, pick one. Go.
I'm gonna do the Tater's Tot. That's another one of our partners. Son's name is Tate.
Mm.
He's the one he keeps eyeballing.
Oh my god.
So
That one
it's
almost
just-
didn't make it in. I'm just
So
saying.
it's just cheese whiz, the steak, and then there's tater tots all mixed in. It's probably like 30 in this one. I made it nice, and then I put a bunch of them on top, and it's just the steak, the potatoes. You get it all.
Nice. That's tater tots, right?
That's the tater tot. All right, Jimmy.
Don't look at that
Jimmy,
one.
which one's yours? Come on, Jim.
Me, I'm a plain guy, so I go with the original. The original got that cheddar cheese on that, you know, with the ribeye steak, with the peppers and onions right on top of that bad boy. Can't go wrong with that.
Named
Can't.
after a legend.
Yo, did you hear how he spoke about that?
Yeah.
Gave me goosebumps.
All right, and then we'll get the last one so that Manny can eat. So the last one is named after my son. It's Alexander the Great. So we have 4 different cheeses, and so we incorporated each one of the cheeses in one of the dishes. And so, you know, you've got the cheese whiz, which we make on the truck. You've got the pepper jack. You've got cheddar. And then on the Alexander the Great, we do provolone. So, you know, you ask different cheeseheads down in Philly, you know, they have the huge arguments, cheese whiz, provolone.
Whiz or
Yeah.
provolone? Whiz or provolone?
Yeah. I'm with the cheese whiz. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I think the provolone holds it all together.
Right.
Provolone's like a nice, good father, holds it all together. You know, that cheese was like the one that's gonna take you partying on your 18th birthday. And so then this one has it has the provolone, it has bacon, and it has garlic all inside of it. Yeah.
No, hold on. I see one more. Talk about the one that's
Oh yeah, talk about the specialty.
Custom made.
Oh.
You know, no. I want to hear him talk about it.
Who made it?
Jimmy made it.
All right, so
Okay.
that right there is called the loaded tot.
Nice.
The loaded tot right there, right now, has the cheddar cheese with the. Oh, okay.
Peppers and
Yeah, with the peppers and onions right on top of that bad boy. Usually you'll have ribeye steak right on top of that bad boy. You can't even see the tots, let me tell you.
Okay.
That bad boy got a lot
So
of meat
now,
on it.
now being a vegetarian, what is that?
Vegetable.
Vegetarian. What would normally be like? Cause
What would normally be on that is big eggplant with onions and peppers, mushrooms. You could add jalapenos if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, we had the event at Notre Dame, so we ran out of eggplant and mushrooms today. So
That looks good.
sorry, Marsha.
Sorry,
It's
Marcia.
alright. I'm very appreciative that there's a veggie. cheese.
Yeah, she usually gets the sorry Marcia because we didn't bring anything for you. Type of
Marsha.
But I did last year before I gave up meat. I had his cheesesteak,
Yeah.
prior to
Okay.
that, so it was good.
Yeah, no, he hit me up and I was like, I'm also bringing veggies. I was like, oh my god, that's so awesome because we've been we've been screwing that up since the beginning.
No, the first one was not our fault. Someone decided to go like
That is
vegan the day of.
Oh,
It was the day
it was like
of.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was like Thanksgiving. I'm gonna go vegan on Thanksgiving, guys.
Not me.
I just wanted to take the meat out.
The worst day. What are you talking
I wanted
about?
to see how I would do, and I do good.
So you
Would've
pick-
failed.
Which one you want?
You know what? I don't want to celebrate
like-
Christmas anymore. On Christmas, presents.
We already got
it's like cold turkey.
that.
Cold turkey. Nobody thinks
Wow.
cold turkey.
Hurry up, bro. I'm gonna eat.
Next
and-
to tater tots. What
This
is that?
one?
Yeah,
Oh,
That's the Quinmeister.
That's the
Queen
queen.
Meister.
Yeah.
here.
So that you listen, that you guys pick which ones you're gonna eat first, and then if you guys are hungry, or I'm hungry, so I'm gonna just grab what we have after that.
I'm gonna
It's
cut
already
you a
cut in half.
piece.
It's already cut in half.
Yeah, but there's more. If more people want to try the same sandwich, like,
Are you talking to me about my sandwich?
yes, puppy.
All right.
I'm trying to be cordial here, you know.
Yeah, he's trying to be nice.
Be gentle.
So listen, while we're eating, what do we want to talk about?
Oh,
go ahead.
oh.
You had something.
Well,
Yo,
I'm thinking
why
about
not?
because you were talking about like the Puerto Rican culture, and
Yeah.
you could have did anything else for the food truck. So like, why just Philly cheesesteaks?
Yeah, so I used to work at Taco Loco.
Okay.
Worked with their food trucks. I still work there. Still help them out when they need that help. Oh, that's a big one.
Wow. This shit
Things
been.
heavy.
Don't tell them about earlier.
So my, when my partner decided Philly cheesesteaks, I decided, when we looked at the competition, the big thing is looking at the competition, making sure to not set ourselves up for failure. Could I have done, Benny, all those different things, pastelillos. I love all that stuff. But I just thought about how many other trucks do all that kind of stuff,
Right.
And so like sometimes we throw some totones in the truck and we eat in the back by ourselves.
Nice.
Can't tell everybody, but it was
Philly cheesesteak totones. Oh my god.
yeah. And so my big thing is especially last year we didn't do anything but Philly cheesesteaks, French fries, and tater tots. And my dream is that one day somebody would look over and say, "You guys are the Philly guys." Right?
Yeah.
So like 3 months in, me and my brother were at Restaurant Depot. We're buying groceries. This gentleman comes out the thing, looks at me and goes, and I was like, "I don't know you. Don't point at me." And he said, "You're the Philly guys, right? You guys do Philly cheesesteaks?" And I was like, "It's done." Like, because you have to be known as something,
Yeah.
And so, we have a beautiful truck. We have beautiful people working inside the truck.
Yeah, I recognize it on the highway all the time.
Yeah, and so what's funny is we started getting a lot of pictures of people. I get it on my phone all the time. Spotted, like
Risking their lives.
Well, it became a game. Yeah. It became a game. Like people spot us and like send it in, and so it's pretty funny. The other day we were driving, and his sister Bianca, we're driving. I'm like, dee, 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 dee. So I always get nervous that like something's open or like we're the generator flap open. I always get nervous that something's going wrong. So I'm like looking around. I look over. My cousin's like. I'm like, what are you doing? Keep your hands on the wheel. What are you doing? But it's become a little bit of game. It's fun.
Rio, go ahead and grab a piece.
Yeah, which
Grab
one do you
some
want?
Food, man.
Come
Hey,
on,
in that
come
little
over
break
So
when we
many
talk about
choices.
Rio,
There's so many choices.
let's talk about the drinks too. What did you bring here for us
What
to
are you
drink to
sipping
wash
on?
these beautiful steaks down?
You guys understand when we rewatch this, it's gonna be like me talking 90%. This is what happens in the truck.
We
So
love you.
Yeah.
The representative.
yeah, and so today I decided to bring So like I told you guys earlier, I watched every single episode of this for like the past like 2 weeks, making sure that I was prepared, and I wanted to beat everybody else. And so, hearing that Park City Harvest didn't bring any food was a little.
No. Let's not blame them. It wasn't them.
No.
They garden and farm.
No, absolutely, no. I understood it because
It was Dave's fault.
Oh,
I'm the captain of the ship, so it's.
no. Listening to
Dave's
the episode
fault.
was one of my favorites because being a teacher in Bridgeport as well as owning the food truck, I thought it was really cool. And especially when we saw them, I did the same thing that he said. I saw them and I was like, they plant like organic stuff. Like that's not what you would expect.
Right.
And so that's a good thing for them to have. And so I decided that I heard somebody bring beer, and I was like, oh yeah, because we do a lot of work with Half Full Brewery, which is this little symbol here, or also the symbol on my hat, or on all those beers over there. And so we've done quite a bit of their events. You know, they throw some events over in Stamford. And so today I brought 3 different ones because I wanted to try to appease to everybody's needs. And so we have, this one's a honey style ale, the bright is a pale ale, and then we have the coffee one that they did, the coffee
It's a
porter. Porter, yep. And they used it with Rise Coffee, and in this one they show you in collaboration with Red Bee Honey. So they like to group up with a bunch of people who do things, the responsible way.
Right.
And so these companies are known to use things, that don't hurt the bees, don't hurt the coffee beans. And so I enjoy their beer. It works well with our Phillies. And so I made sure to bring that today so that we could try it out.
You ready for that?
Pop that open.
Oh my god. I'm gonna bite this cheesesteak.
We gotta get real piece.
We gotta do our countdown. Grab your pasture over there.
You're supposed to switch.
This one. Yeah.
Why, you didn't like it?
No, the other one.
I want
This
the
one.
bee. The honey thing is
Oh.
intriguing to me.
I like it.
There we are.
She's stocking up
What's
beer
this
over
guy's
here.
doing?
No.
You see
He's
this?
sleeping.
Like stocking up beer. It's like, yo.
Tell him, come here, grab a piece too.
Come
I
eat.
know it- Okay.
We have 45 pounds of Phillies here.
45 pounds. That one.
I guess I'll take the bright.
The bright? Let me get a bright kiss.
I mean, there's more porters here. She's just hoarding them.
Oh,
No, I mean, this wasn't on purpose. I don't even know how this happened.
Taking it home.
It's like, all right, Marsha, we got lit last party, and now you're trying to get extra lit.
Bring this to a coffee shop and
Can you imagine?
For real.
Go to Starbucks.
There's already a quarter one cut there, but you're good there. Not like halfy over here.
He wants the whole thing.
No, listen. You just
Want to give me a harder one, more than a harder one.
I mean, you can go ahead. I'm hoping nobody. This
I'm
one's
biting.
disgusting.
does
guys.
anybody
Comes
want a
Bad
piece
night.
of the veggie one before I tear?
Don't let nobody else
Yeah,
touch
I
it.
Don't let
I
nobody
was
else.
about to say, I want to know.
I want it to be nice.
I know you're good.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Cheers.
Oh my god.
You guys need to watch the one where they do the Philly egg. Not Philly egg roll. Sorry.
Yeah, the Philly egg roll.
Oh, it is Philly egg roll.
From
From
Philly
where?
egg roll.
From him.
I made them.
Oh, did you?
Listen, I was watching the episode. I had headphones on. He bites in. I had crumbs in my ear, bro. I called him a liar outside. I said you put
Crumbs
two.
in my
I said
ear.
you put 2 Doritos in your mouth. Dude, it was crunchy.
Those things are tough to
And let me
roll,
tell
though.
you,
He
Oh, they
brought
are
him cold,
tried.
right? He's like, oh, I'm
and
sorry.
mind you, they were cold. I had come from
The
Stamford.
crunch.
I had come from Stanford, and I had made them like even 2 hours before that. So like they were sitting for a few hours, and
I
then
did
they
them
were
la-
still
I-
beautifully crunchy.
I did
like-
buffalo. I
Yes,
did
they
buffalo
were.
chicken ones last year. Which ones did I do last year? I
You
did a
did
tater
bu-
tot one, buffalo
Yeah.
chicken, and a quin one last year. They liked it. It was just, it's hard to get used to.
I will
gotta
tell
really
you that
practice.
a lot of the new stuff that we add onto the truck or the specials we do come from him. He sends me pictures. Last year he made a tater tot pizza. We have these round things. Sometimes when we do breakfast, we have these round metal things that we
Is there
put the
any
eggs in.
substance before those ideas pop up in the no?
Organic plants.
No, organic.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was
no,
like,
no.
They're not farmers.
I just make weird shit.
What-
you
You're
know-
not a horticulturist?
No.
No.
I
What
just
in-
found out what that meant. I walked up here.
What inspires you? Like, where do you get your ideas from?
I don't know. I like to, like, my father does it all the time. Like, ever since we were little, like, we just mix shit, like a lot of different stuff. So it's like 12 o'clock at night. We're sitting there. He gets home from work because I stay up late all the time, and we'll have like cornflakes with ice cream and a piece of pound cake. And so I just like mix a bunch of shit, and it ends up tasting all right.
Yeah. No, I'm pulling up
That
the
works.
picture.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up the picture from when he did the.
And we did
tater tot
we
pizza.
did an event at Itoro, and I
Mm-hmm.
he said that they had all the like instruments that we needed, and I couldn't find something for like potatoes, so I just made like potato muffins. I just boiled them, mashed them all up, put some garlic butter in there, cheddar cheese, bacon.
Hey,
Hey,
I like
to
a
put
good
them in
chop
the oven.
candidate.
In a muffin tray, and they came out amazing.
Look at that.
Look at it. Look at he
Wait.
just so their steak, then he threw the cheese on top, and then
Yeah,
when,
that was
when
nice.
we went to go eat it, then he just
Next.
doused it in hot sauce. But he comes up with these things and then he sends them to me. So the Ituro event he's talking about, we were trying to do smashed potatoes.
Potato taco.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah, we were trying to do smashed potatoes. It did not work because we've never done it before. The other thing is we also take a little bit of risks when we do private events. You know, we had a wedding that we did where we did chicken skewers with pineapple on the top, and it was like a bourbon mixture with the chicken. And so we cooked the chicken first, put on the skewer, put the pineapple, put in the oven at 500.
Right.
And I had only practiced it once, but the lady said that she liked the idea.
Huh.
So I remember we were at the wedding and we were sweating like, oh my God, I don't know what the people are going to say about this.
We needed
Like-
this sauce.
Yeah, we needed a sauce. So all of a sudden, we open up the fridge. We're like, all right, we got sriracha, we have honey. I can't even remember everything else we put in there.
Pineapple juice.
Yeah, we had pineapple juice. So we put it on the stove. We started, to the lady. She loved it. So she can't call in and say that she didn't. Because she was like, this is probably the best chicken skewer I've ever had, guys.
I would
I was
love
like-
to see you guys on Chopped.
Well,
Like, just thinking about it.
So what's funny is, and hopefully let's speak it into existence, I went on Food Network because a friend of ours from the Tasty Oak, which you guys had on here,
Right.
he won Chopped.
Phenomenal.
And as soon as I heard that, I was like, again, I'm not a better chef than Eric, so let me start with that. But I said, oh no, maybe I could do it. You know what I mean? Like, let's speak into it. So I went on the thing and I applied to like every show they have, because they say if you apply to one and you don't get accepted, then that's it. So they had like a wide open one. And so he's a professional chef. He's over at the Chelsea. His food is
Right.
crazy. Tasty Oak, best breakfast sandwich out there. Did he bring some for you guys?
No.
All right, well, we're going to
did.
go get some tomorrow morning.
Let's do it. I'm there every Sunday morning. FYI, you can ask him.
Which one?
Is he gonna be in front
on
of
Black
Source?
Rock.
On Black Rock?
Yeah.
Oh,
Say
it's
it again?
phenomenal.
He's gonna be in front of the Source.
So he's always in the trucks. On the one on
Black Rock.
On
Black Rock.
Black Rock, sorry. Yeah, I teach at John Winthrop, and so they have a location on Park Ave. And so when I'm having a bad morning, like I woke up late, my son kicked me before I got out the door, I always go grab them. Yeah, get a banker. Hot sauce.
Oh my God,
Hot
Banker's
sauce?
my favorite one.
Hot sauce on the side.
Green or orange?
Orange.
Both.
I do the green on it. Like, I love
No,
it.
see, I'm a
orange
little.
one.
Listen, when they put it on.
I know I love the
they
orange, but
douse
then
it.
Felito put
Too
me
much
onto
for
the
me.
green.
So I got a dip, just a little dip.
The dips.
Oh man, their
Their
sandwiches.
specials last year were crazy. Did you have the pulled pork one, the burrito?
Yeah, and the
Oh.
duck the halls.
The Will Burrito 2.0.
Yeah, that
Duck-
was.
All right, listen, guys. I can go on about. You've heard that episode. I can go on about the Tasty Oak.
Yeah.
Let's move
Back
on
to
to you
you.
guys.
Sorry.
Meet you guys there at 8 a.m. All right.
I got a question. So, I know, of course, when you're starting a business, it's crucial the stages of developing a menu. Now, you explained the names where they come from.
Yep.
Now, did each of you guys design your own, or how did that happen?
So once me and Dan decided Philly cheesesteaks, and this is before I brought my brother on board, because like you said, it took a couple months of figuring it all out. We didn't know we were gonna name it after our kids. We had no idea. But me and my wife were sitting at a table, and she was like, we have to start coming up with a menu, So the first thing I did was, there's a really good Philly place up by the casinos. It's called Phillies. They have really good Philly cheeses out there, and I go there. We go to the casinos. We make an excuse to go to the casinos for them. That's how good their Phillies are. Okay. And so I looked at his menu, and I was like, I want some things that are out there. I want some things that you don't see on other menus. So me and my wife started fooling around a lot. Like, all right, mozzarella sticks. Put mozzarella sticks underneath the steak. Put the steak on top of it. I know we're gonna do it as a special.
Yeah, it's happening.
I'm gonna give you my number. Please text me when that's gonna happen. I'll be
and
there.
so we started fooling around a lot, and then what happens is she was doing that, I was doing the recipes, and she started names, because I have the ability to make things, right? When I was at Taco Loco doing bartending, I can make drinks. I made part of their menu, but I can't name it. Like I just don't have it, Like you go there now, and the Skyfall is one of their best margaritas. I didn't name it. One of the owners was on a big James Bond kick, and he decided that Skyfall was the name for it. That's what happened, and so she made up almost all the names. You know, Alexander the Great was simple because that's who I named my son after. Quinn Meister was because it was during Christmas and we were watching that movie that has the heat miser and the freeze miser. What's his name?
I don't know what that's called.
Mom
I'm in the
made us
same
watch that
boat. I don't
movie
watch
every
anything
Christmas.
like
Heat
that.
Miser. I'm Mr. Heat Miser.
I don't know.
I can't remember the other guy.
Cool guy.
So that's where we were with Quinn Meiser.
Aren't you the teacher? Hey, well, you gotta tell us this stuff. All right.
I teach movies from Christmas. So then the Quinn Meister, that's how that came. And then Tate, we always called him Tater Tot when he was younger.
Okay.
And so that was the easiest one, you know? What are you going to put in the tater tot? Tater tots. And by far, so he's my least liked child. Like, out of these kids, me and Tate. Whew.
Bumping
And
heads.
Yeah. Yeah, when I used to babysit him,
Yes.
he's the kid that went missing. You couldn't find him, and he's in a fish tank, like, in the basement. Like.
True story, probably.
And so, it's funny, though, his sandwich is my favorite.
Okay.
By a mile.
Oh, man,
No,
that was
what's your
delicious.
bestseller?
That crunch.
Probably Quinn.
It
Has to be
yeah,
Quinn.
you know what? People come in for the spice, you know? And so, I need more hot sauce, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Just
We're
while I
bottling-
remember
we're
my bad.
bottling
Yeah,
some-
that jalapeno lime went flying.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one was going so fast.
Okay.
Corn.
Sorry, I just remembered, and I keep forgetting to text you. So the Quinn Meister is probably the best seller. Then it probably goes Hector's Original, only because when people come up to the truck for the first time, I don't believe in trying to upsell people.
Right.
I remember the first time we were talking about this, the guys were like, no, if somebody says, what's your favorite one? You say Alexander the Great. You make the 14. My biggest fear is that, yeah, we make the 14, and they might like the sandwich, but they might not, in their head, they're like, of course, they're trying to sell us the $14
Right.
sandwich. You know, so I always tell people, I want you to eat the Hector's Original for one reason and one reason only. If you can fall in love with the base, right, then you can fall in love with the rest
Right.
of them. If you like the base, then now the next time you come up, let's get wild. You know what I mean? I'm bringing you on a first date. We're going to go to the movies. Second date, skydiving. You know what I mean? It's like, now you're going to try the Alexander. You're going to be like, why didn't I get that the first time? But my big thing is selling 10 5 times gets you 50. Selling 14 once gets you 14. And so my big thing is I want people to enjoy every single one of these. Is it better to sell the $14 sandwich? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm more worried about the customers coming back and feeling like family. That's what I post about it a lot. And that's what some people come back and say. You know, we have one lady in Stamford, the one who always comes and finds us. It doesn't matter where we are. She comes and finds us. And I tell her, what's up, boo? You know, it's like a family thing now.
Right.
This one comes out, hey, love.
I get him.
Jimmy's
Yeah.
like,
All the old
you-
ladies.
oh my
As
God.
long as they're not on a podcast.
We had a
you
whole
get
bus
it,
out
right?
there. Come on, man. We had a whole bus.
He's
He
like,
missed it. He was cooking. He
I
He
do
missed
that
the
all
whole
the time.
bus.
I gotta reel him in.
you gotta that's what we say.
Attaboy.
And so the other thing is you have to have fun while you work. These two make it very simple. Right? I was telling you outside we do Impractical Jokers sometimes, like we just kind of like do stupid things. You know, we did a pop-up event at Hoodoo Brown in Richfield, and we middle of the summer we came up with a sandwich. We didn't know what the sandwich was yet, but it was called the Bang Dugular.
Just cuz.
Listen, no idea
It
why.
just sounds crazy,
It
right?
just and so we made this big objective. You got
Don't look at me, you bang.
So listen, the big thing was you gotta, they started this challenge. You gotta sell a Bang Dugular at some point. We don't know what the sandwich is. Neither does the customer. So, it became a challenge for me at the window. And so it makes things interesting. And the crowd buys into it a lot, We have a lot of fun, because some of the trucks you get up, it's, what can I get you? Yeah, $8. Thanks. You can get that from any truck. But when you come to our truck, it's gonna be a little different, We're gonna have fun. And so we put it on the menu. We printed out a menu and it was the Bang Dugular.
Everything was small.
It was like
It was like the original, and then it's like Bang Dugular. The middle of the paper's like this.
yeah, it was the new cube. We did a different style of the Cuban. We used their a bunch of their different meats. We came up with ideas and we did this really cool menu. We had a really cool dessert. It was awesome. And then there's just in the middle is the Bang Dugular. And so the first 20 people were like, "Can I get the can I get the chicken one?" And so we made a bet. We said the first person to order a Bang Dugular that can say it, not stutter, not mess up, we're giving them the sandwich for free. They don't even know the challenges that we're setting for them. And so this one lady comes up, little small girl. Hi, let me get the Bang Dugular. I said, oh my, she hit me strong with it. Boom.
She said it with her chest.
Yeah, she went, Bang Dugular. And Jimmy was like, Jimmy said she said it, and the lady was nervous, like she like didn't win the raffle, you know. And so she got the sandwich for free, and we told her, you know, tell people. Yeah. Don't be scared to say the bang do-gooder, you know what I mean? How many people ordered the chicken one?
Can you talk about, because you know you wanted to do the Philly cheesesteak thing, you know you wanted to do the food truck, so can you talk about the obstacles of, you know, getting a food truck, running in with the health department, how that process was?
He looked at his watch. Like,
I was like, I don't know if we have enough time. You know, the big thing with the health departments, and I'm hoping none of them are listening,
no, I hope they are listening so that way
yeah.
they can make things easier for the people in this state. Like, it's terrible the way they treat people.
We got 101 yesterday.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, so,
Nice.
I mean,
Credit.
I'll say this, and Dan will get mad at me for saying this next part, but our first health inspection, we failed. I've never failed a health inspection in my life in all the other trucks I worked in. And we failed it because we have a new truck, and I was trying to figure out my steam table, right? So we had it on high, but it's using a lot of propane. I was just trying to, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's about the environment. It's about just trying to see where we can keep everything down.
Right.
You know, new truck, we don't want to be spending dollars every day. And so I put it on low, and I put a timer for 30 minutes, and we have everything in there. When health inspectors walk inside my truck, and if people listening look on the Instagram and look down, I'm going to repost it soon. The inside of my truck is more beautiful than the outside. Mm-hmm. The inside of my truck is insane. Yeah. I have restaurants who have come inside the inside of our truck and just been like, I didn't know they could put this unit in a truck. Like, even like our fire thing, we have the thing that's attached to the ceiling. It has a trip switch in the back at 400 degrees. If it gets that hot, it sets it off, like state of the art. And so the guy comes in and he's like, oh my God, this truck's beautiful. And he was in a bad mood. I'm not gonna say any names, but he came and he checked all the temperatures, checked all the fridges, everything working perfectly. So when he took the temperature of the steak, you have to have your ingredients over 135. Right. I understand the rules. I know everything about the rules. And so it was at 133. Now, I explained to him, I will throw the steak away, right? I'm not worried about losing the steak, but I'm trying to learn this machine. Now I know I can't have it on low, right? It's going to have to be on medium, probably high if we're going to keep it on a steam table. Right. And so I got a 98. As I said, I'm a school teacher. A 98's an A+. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's passing, flying colors. That's magna cum laude. And we got an F. And these things get posted online, you know? Yeah. And so, you know, a couple weeks later, we're doing an event, and the guy's like, oh, I need to make sure that I really take my time in your truck. And I was like, well, what's up? What do you mean? Like, it's spotless. I've got everything here. Here goes my tablets. Here goes my sanitizer. It's 200 ppm. Everything's at 41 degrees. And then they get mad at you because the thermometer is on the outside of my unit, right? It says 41 degrees. Do you have one inside? Do you have a manual one inside? No. It says it right there. It says 41 degrees. Well, I want one on the inside. You don't have something to hold your paper towels. I said, yeah, because it goes on the rack right here. It's not near anything. Well, we're going to take away points because you need something holding your paper towels. Why? Are you kidding? Like, it's just a lot of hoopla, and it's like they have to find something. Right. And so, should I have failed that day? I don't believe so. You know, 133, 135. I understand the point. But at a 98, you're going to put an F up on the website for a brand new food truck?
Because that's considered a major.
Yeah,
it's a major infraction because there's two different types of infractions when they do the health inspections. You do the minors, which you can still get a lower grade but still pass. But then if you get a major, you'll fail automatically no matter how perfect.
But now, lately, they're all on the news all the time, right? They
the health inspections. Yeah. Some of those are so BS. That's why I tell people don't pay attention to those. Some
right.
of those are so
but
stupid.
then you have those who rectify them right there and then. That wasn't an option.
That's what I told him. I said, listen, I will toss this right now. Mm-hmm. And I showed him the dial. I said, listen, I'm not trying to BS you. One of the big things, and I tell this to my students, to everybody I know, your word in today's society means everything, right? And so I'm telling you right now, you could watch me toss it. I will cook brand new steak right here in front of you. I'll put it in. I will turn my dial up to hot. Like, I'm ready to do all those things. I'm not worried about the lost product. I just learned a lesson, right? So he was like, nope, it's done. And I didn't know that it meant an automatic failure. I didn't know until he mailed the inspection thing to us, and my partner texted me, remember, 3 days later, and he's not in the food industry. And he was like, we failed an inspection? So now I've got to explain to him, the man who put a lot of faith into me to take this off
in layman's
make
terms.
It work.
Yeah.
to say,
And
hey,
how long does it take after like that first field inspection to get another one? Like,
so in Stamford, we didn't get inspected the rest of the year. And so when anytime we had to send somebody our last inspection, that was the one that had to get sent.
wow.
So it got good because we finally did a festival. You get inspected at all the festivals.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that. I have no problem with the inspections. And so we finally got to one and we got in 100 and I was like, thank the Lord. Because when people asked, I was able to be like, hey, look, we're great. Because especially a lot of the fairs and festivals last year didn't want to take the risk on us.
Yeah.
You're a new food truck. We don't know you. I said, I used to work at Taco Loco, but Taco Loco's a brand. Taco Loco's been here before you were here, you know? So they have their systems in place. We don't know about your system. And so the good thing this year is a lot of those people are now reaching out like, great first year. We're hearing good things. You have 5 stars on Facebook. You have 5 stars on these websites. And so, you know, it's definitely been a learning process. You know, all those little mistakes and all those things that we have to learn from, we have.
How about you guys?
Oh, man.
Share some of your experiences, some of your challenges.
I'd say that was probably the biggest one we had so far. All of our inspections since then have been like perfect.
Right.
We went up to Hamden because we're gonna start doing the farmers market up there. Like I just said, we got 101. The guy walked in, he's like, "Holy shit!" That's exactly what he said. He goes, "I get into food trucks where there's one light bulb in the top, and it's like the guy's sad,
Yeah.
and there's like it's dirty, and he was like, listen, 101 extra credit. You guys are phenomenal. We keep that shit clean though.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. It's like spotless.
Yeah. No,
And we're not waiting to clean. When we're done with our events, we're cleaning right there, you know,
Yeah,
like we rocked today at the Notre Dame thing, bacon and brew.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, like, a lot of people are like, I can't trust food off of a truck like this. And I tell them, yo, do you understand that mobile food services have more like rules against them, and they get inspected more often than an actual restaurant? Like, I worked in a restaurant for quite some time. I don't remember seeing a health inspector come in there.
I've never seen
Well, it's just
rodents.
like
I mean,
that.
Like-
have you ever heard of rodents being in food trucks?
No,
Rodents?
rodents.
No,
I mean, unless you
sure.
were parked in
Listen,
my
they
backyard somewhere for like.
Sure, hope not.
No,
Let me tell you something.
like, you
That's
don't.
got to be a fast man. You know, I'm pulling off on a back. Come here. You know what I mean? Like,
That's the thing. Like, so I trust food trucks
A
more than
little
I
more,
do
yeah,
like
because the
brick and
establishments
mortars. Yeah.
Right.
yeah, because they're stuck in
and all
place.
those creatures.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is also a lot of the food trucks, you know, I'm not going to speak for all of them. You have people, you know, like us. You know what I mean? We have the food truck trying to go. You think I'm going to risk it all to not sweep at the end of the night? You know what I mean?
Right. Who's the worst in your team? Who's the worst? Who's the sloppiest?
Go ahead, throw
Not
him
just me.
under the bus. That's you.
Oh,
Me. Make a mess. I do make a mess.
Hold on.
I thought they were gonna
Explain
do
his
fast.
mess. Explain the way.
I move too
just love
fast.
the- Oh, you don't pay attention. That's
I
what
had
it
I had
is.
a
Too fast.
film
There's
in
cheddar
slow motion
cheese on
today.
top of the roof.
There's cheese flying.
It's everywhere.
His belly gets hit with cheese. Listen, it happens,
Do you guys
man.
have any food
The
truck like
whiz.
horror stories?
can we
like,
please
Oh,
cut the
oh,
last
our
10
first-
seconds? I
our
don't want to
first-
talk about the belly.
Our first event was a horror story.
Yeah.
It was the worst.
Tell me about
We had
it.
2 private events that day. It was our first day running. We were driving back from our first event, and all of a sudden, I'm like, pull over now. You know, I smell something funny. I'm like, something's burning. We go back to our generator and our table, and our fan blew completely out. The bearing blew, and it slammed right through our radiator.
Wow.
It was a disaster. We still did the second event though.
It was a year and a half ago, and I still can't talk about it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah?
brutal. Like,
So
talk
you weren't
about
able to
so
do the
scary.
first event.
We did the first
You
event.
did.
And then in between, we were trying to figure out if we can somehow do something. But then it was perfect because our second event, they didn't want our generator running,
Okay.
so they had a plug and everything in the garage. And we hung up these nice lights.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, you went direct power.
It was perfect.
That was perfect.
Yeah, but then we just, oh man,
Wait, so it blew out your radiator?
it
and
blew
you
on
guys
the
were
radiator
able-
on our generator.
The generator.
Oh, on the generator. Ooh.
Yeah, so our truck.
Listen,
would
how did you
move.
make
It's our
it to the
generator?
event?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
we were
it
mad.
was by
First day.
one of the worst moments of my whole life. I remember we opened the thing, and this $40,000 generator that is like prorated for like 1,000,000 hours is on its 3rd hour of ever being run, and it decides to explode.
Yeah.
And I just remember calling my father, who's big in fixing trucks and diesel trucks and things like that. And this one.
Yeah.
And he was like, and so my dad was like, I don't normally get mad. It's very rare to see me angry and in a bad mood for a prolonged period of time. And Rene, my brother was like, PJ, calm down. Don't tell me to. I was going nuts. So my father gets there. And my father is normally somebody who, if one thing goes wrong with a project, he's, you motherfucking, oh my God, I can't believe it. I don't give a flying fuck. This. I'm like, bro, like, you're missing a washer. Calm down. We go to Home Depot. Like, it's around the corner. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. Everything's a fucking project. You're right. We are finishing a project. So let's go buy the washer. Like, you can breathe, bro. And he's big, so I don't want him to drop. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's a big boy. That's like Jimmy 2.0. And so what he did was he ran over to a place. You know, he got because in order to put the fridges, that was the big thing. If we don't have fridges, we can't do these events. And so it was when was it? June, right? Middle of June. It was 160 degrees in the truck. My brother has never really worked in these environments. I have. So, of course, I was hot and I was bothered. But I was like, whatever, we're going to get through it. I turn over 20 minutes into the event. This dude's melting. Oh, yeah. Melting. He's like,
poor guy.
Bro, I've never been so hot in my whole life. I don't even know what to do right now. I need some water. Can I go outside? I need to smoke a cigarette. I was like, bro, take a break. We're going to be all right. He was. So then we did the same event this year. The same person. Last week. And so they did. I didn't do it. Because I knew she was going to tell us to turn on the generator. That means no fan. So they sent me a picture of a thermometer, 138 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hot.
And the thing with the food trucks is it's compact. You don't have much breathing room, you know? And so as soon as you turn off that fan, now you've got everything in there has an exhaust. You've got fridge, you've got big freezers, you know? It's a whole mosh pit. Tell you what though, you lose some weight quick.
It was hot in here.
I lost 10 pounds in 10 minutes.
By switching to no fan.
No, it was good. It got up to 148 when we had, the fryer going and a bunch of sandwiches.
Wow. I can't believe you said you were the messiest.
Yeah.
You guys destroy me when I'm on the window and I throw the receipts into the sink.
Oh, yeah. My God.
You're at the window, right? You got a million
Papers,
things going on.
though.
Yeah, but you don't have... Do I have a trash can? Where do you want me to put it? You want me to make it disappear? I'm not Pinocchio.
I didn't even know Pinocchio was a magician. You learn something new every day.
Okay, I think I have one more question because I know we have to close out soon.
Who's that?
By the way, I don't think
we can go all night.
Did you ask a single question, man? What are you doing? What's
He's
up?
been eating and cutting.
Listen, I've been talking.
He's full now. He's
serving.
Marsha's the principal, and you're like the vice principal right now. What's up, man?
Listen, I'm
throwing hammers like
On the second. What do you
I
have
would
now?
have to say it's flipped. I've been
Sipping on that bright beer.
First of all, I've been trying to keep the show rolling on the proper schedule, right? So y'all been messing me up. So I've been trying to delegate here. Okay.
Well, let's take a moment. Benny, what do you think about the beer?
Oh man, you know what? I tried off the Be Enlightened. That is the Kolsch. That's the Kolsch with the honey, and it's all right. It's all right. No, it's not a blonde. It's a Kolsch style. It's the next one I talk about is a blonde. Don't worry about it. It was all right. It was all right. It was. You know what?
I like it.
Honestly, I guess probably just me personally. Any beer that I've had with honey, you kind of expect more out of it.
What's your favorite beer?
I told you the Too Juicy from last
Too
week.
Juicy?
Heck yeah, that Too Juicy from Two Roads. Two Roads Too Juicy? What? You obviously didn't listen to last episode properly because did you not hear me?
I didn't write it down. My bad.
You were taking notes?
No,
you weren't
on a couple
taking
of them I
notes?
did, but it was like the last one, so I was like, oh, just get through this. So wait, what kind of a beer is it?
No, Too Juicy. It's a New England style IPA.
Oh, I hate IPAs.
No, it's a New England style though. You can ask any of them here. Like it's a very drinkable
I'll try
IPA.
it. So bring it
Was
to
at the
me.
same time that you
I don't
brought
like
Born on the
IPAs
Beach?
either.
Oh,
the same. I like Born on
I
the
almost said the
Beach.
wrong thing. Born on the Beach.
Yeah.
I was gonna say sex on the beach.
Not that drink.
Not that drink. But it's from Two Roads. It's delicious. It's 8.2%.
Nice.
By volume. It's really good stuff. The next one here is actually pretty good. It's a blonde pale ale hybrid. What's it hybrid with?
It's a blonde and pale.
Yeah, but they blonde. Well, I guess the blonde and the pale.
Can you find these like in the
You
grocery
ever see a blonde
stores?
pale?
So Half Full is in a couple different. They do sell in some of the liquor stores, but they're located in Stamford.
Okay.
So we do quite a few events with them, so that's why I want to make sure to bring them out, shout them out today. I couldn't bring it because it's too good and it's mine. Their guava sour that they put out.
Yeah, he's gonna tell a Puerto Rican about a guava
Yeah.
salad, and he's not gonna bring
Listen.
anything.
I only have 128 ounces.
Turn off his
Thank
mic.
you. You only
That's
have
just
100.
enough. That's enough.
Cut him off. He's Mike
Right,
5.
bro.
He was telling me outside. He was telling me all about it, and I'm sitting there like.
So listen,
yeah,
tomorrow
cool,
when we
just
go
tell
to
me.
Taste the Yolk, I bring you one.
Oh, there we go. Breakfast,
time?
breakfast
I'll be
beer,
there.
and
8 o'clock.
it's
8
not.
a.m.
It's not vegan. Sorry.
Well,
Not that
yeah, right.
Actually, throw a little bit of. Let me stop.
Because we do have a lot of listeners who listen to the show for inspiration, people who are food entrepreneurs. So I would want you to tell them, like, maybe 3 things if they are looking to start a food truck. What advice would you give them?
All right. So my first one, I'm gonna quote someone.
That would be me and Manny. Someday we'd like to.
Oh,
There we
okay.
go.
Oh,
All
I
right.
thought I was like, he's not quoting us. Like, what are
Yeah,
you talking
got me good. I was
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
That loofah truck.
A
I ain't forget
loofah
about
truck.
No. So one of my friends gave me some advice last year, and I didn't listen to it last year. His name's Drew. He runs a Drewbq truck. It's barbecue food, phenomenal. He told me, he looks me in the eyes and he goes, "Don't take every event." And the thing is that when you're a food truck, you want to take. In my head, when I first started, the only way you can get to the end goal, which is private parties, festivals only, not vending, because although we love the general public, it's a waiting game. You're hoping that somebody comes, you know, and so we want to do private events and we want to do fairs and festivals. And so for me, the only way to grow is to get your name out there, right? If somebody's not eating my food, they're eating somebody else's food. Was my
build your
mentality.
brand.
Yeah. So he told me, don't take every event. And again, I didn't listen. And this year, right now during the month of June, we're really just kind of like cherry picking, because right now, for some reason, maybe because the weather's all over the place, food trucks aren't doing so well, in my opinion. And so we've just been kind of like really cherry picking this month, trying to just, set everything moving in the right direction. So my first thing would be, if you decide to get in it, don't do every event. Make sure that you talk to people, A lot of people in the food truck industry, we talk, You have to get out of your truck in the beginning of events, at the end of events, talk to everybody, I was able to get into that New Haven festival because I spoke to somebody, and they were like, "Hey, we're doing this, let me see if I can get you in." I said, "Absolutely, we want to break into New Haven."
You gotta understand that you guys are your brand.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're talking to people, it's not
Oh,
just
yeah, absolutely.
M&M with a bell. No,
Yeah.
it's your faces, your
Yeah.
conversations. The stuff that they remember.
Yeah.
Customer service, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so the big thing is also is that all 3 of us are pretty good at holding conversation, starting conversation, we don't like to fake things, and I'm not saying anybody does, but some people have their like your telephone voice. Welcome to Bank of America, and so that's what they do at the window, and then all of a sudden when they get back inside the truck, they're like, "Yo, these people really thought that I was talking to me," that's what we do all day long, and we tell jokes and we have fun. So the second part I would say is, do not get in it, and this might be the wrong thing to say, don't get into it if you're looking to make $1 million in your first 3 years. You're gonna have to work. Food trucks, we love it because I love it more because I have them 2 next to me. If me and my wife talk about it a lot. I wouldn't do it if they weren't there. Like if I had to hire staff, I would never get in the truck.
Right.
I wouldn't work. I would let them do all the work. But when I'm with them, it's almost like a mini vacation in that truck. You forget about everything else that's going on. Your objective is to take the person in front of you, serve them, make sure they enjoyed it. Service is half the battle in the food industry. And so if you're getting into it for the money, and at the end of every single event you're gonna be like, we didn't make the dollar amount that we were looking for. No, but how many customers left that event and said, because that's my big thing. It's like a movie. You need to come to my truck, and I don't want you to, I should tell somebody about this. I want you to go home and be like, yo, this Philly truck, you got to try it,
It's fire.
It's the way that I talk about Tasty Yolk. I love Tasty Yolk, and I'm going to stop saying the name right after this. But
Nah, B, it's all right. Like you got me excited again. Like
yeah, that's the thing. I want people
Philly
to not
cheese and
be like,
Tasty
it
Yolk.
was good.
Oh, man.
Your boy comes out the movie and says, it's good. What are you thinking? Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm not
Word
spending-
of mouth is crucial.
Hello. So my big thing is that every customer that hits that window has to want to come back. And that's why one of the things we do is if I mess up your sandwich, let's say you 2 come to the truck, you don't want a sandwich, yeah, you're gonna get tater tots or something. But you say no onions, and I put onions. One of the things I hate is when people take the food back and throw it away.
Instead of coming to you and telling you, listen, I asked for no onions, because you can fix yourself.
Not that. When people come up to you and go, I asked for no onions, I hand them the sandwich back. You've got friends, I hope. Give it to one of your friends. Let me make you a brand new sandwich.
Right.
Again, that's a sandwich that can hit somebody's mouth and somebody goes,
Absolutely.
I need to have them again. And so probably for the third part is have a clear set goal. You have to have a goal. Our first year, there wasn't a goal. My goal was very wide open. It was to get popular, to have people enjoy the food. And it was a small goal of like, I want to have 3 private events this year, you know? This year, there's a clear set goal, you know? We want to serve this many Phillies. We want to have this many stars on every single website, you know? I want to make sure that at the end of this year, you know, we're not looking at, oh, we need to start cutting back menus. We need to start looking at what we can downsize. I want by the end of this year to be looking at it like, where's the next trailer, you know? And where's the brick and mortar?
That was going to be my next question is in what do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, is a brick and mortar an option or multiple trucks? What's your plan?
No, definitely. I mean, we've all talked about this multiple times. Brick and mortar has to be the next part, because running everything out of the truck gets, I don't want to say tiresome, but like my truck right now gets parked. We live on a dead end. It gets parked on the street, which is absolutely fine. But you know, I have neighbors, and the generator isn't exactly quiet. You know,
It's not their best friend.
No. You know, shout out to John.
John don't like.
John lets me know every morning.
Yeah, after this show, let me know where John lives. I got you.
No, you don't want to mess with John.
No, yeah. But, you know, the thing is that, you know, I bring a lot of it home with me. But it's my goal. It's my dream. I've always dreamed about having some type of food industry that I owned. This is going to be my 15th year doing food industry stuff, you know. Love working it, but it's different when you work for yourself, you know? When somebody says that's the best Philly cheesesteak I've ever had, and I'm from Philly, you get goosebumps,
Yes.
you know? But then I always tell people the same thing, and they'll tell you, I go, I know the food's good. How is your service? Every single person. I know the food's good. We've worked on these recipes. You know, when you guys were talking about developing the brand, the sandwich changed from day 1 to day 36. That sandwich went through 16 different changes. And so far, the only negative comments we've gotten is, that doesn't look like the sandwich that we saw on your website. And I say, you're right, because it isn't. That first sandwich you saw was a great steak sandwich, but it wasn't a Philly. And it says Philly on the truck. And so we had to make multiple changes. You know, we tried to do fresh jalapenos, but then what happens is you're not getting the same jalapeno every time you bite. One day you're getting like, oh, that was kind of like a pepper. The next day you're crying, you know? And so there's a lot. I mean, we changed everything. We changed the bread, we changed the cheese, we changed the onions, the peppers, the steak. We've changed every single thing. From day 1 till now, if I put the other sandwich in, you'd be like, oh, that's your competition? You know? And you have to change. You have to maneuver things differently. And so, I mean, those are all the things that I would tell people, although I went off topic a little bit in each one of them. But, you know, you have to go into it with a plan. You have to make sure that this isn't, because the big thing is it can't be about the money at first. It can't. If it's about the money at first, you'll never make it.
Right.
You know?
So you being a school teacher, and I don't know if you guys have day jobs, but do you guys see yourself quitting or firing your boss someday?
No, we're good. I was gonna add to his thing too. Like, I would say you gotta have staff that you really do trust. Too.
Yeah, that's a big. You know what's funny?
Because he could walk out at any time and know that no matter what, we're gonna be in that truck.
I tell you what, I've had people call me and just go, "Hey, who do you have working in your truck?" And I said, "Wow, what's the problem? What happened?" You know, I don't want to tell them who it is at first. And they're like, "You have cameras in your truck?" And I said, "Cameras in my truck? What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Well, you got to make sure that they're not."
Right.
I said, "Listen." I said, there's 346 bread. They sold 13 sandwiches. No. No, the thing is, I do trust them. I don't go to sleep at night like, did they try to get one over on me? Because that is a big thing in the food truck industry. They go to an event, they come back. A lot of it's cash, And so you have to have good staff is the other thing. That day that my son was born, if Jimmy could not have dropped what he was doing, make it into my truck, I would have had to cancel that event, right? Then you're talking about how many events I have to cancel after that. Do I really want to miss everything within these first couple of days? Do I want to leave my wife at the hospital by herself? Right. But as soon as he said yes, and I said, how many days can you work? What can you do for me? What's your schedule? He goes, I got you. That's all I needed to hear.
So let me ask my question differently. Is the plan to quit your day job to become a M&M, multiple trucks and work the truck full time someday?
Oh yeah, once that option comes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't probably.
Yeah, no, I got you. Like what we do in the winter is we just find a little shitty side job.
Yeah.
It's like basically it's like a throwaway.
Right.
You know, just to maintain and survive, make sure that our bills are
paid.
good.
Yeah.
Bills are paid, and that's it. And then you get the phone call, hey, listen, you know, first event, we got 3 this week. We're ready to start rolling. And we're just like, poof,
We're
see
in.
ya. Hey,
That's it. We're
give
ready.
you 2 weeks, and then
Yeah.
it's like, I gotta give you a week. You know, you gotta roll, and then we're in the truck.
Actually, I'm done today.
Yeah, that's kind of how it went too. That's bad. That's how
I
it
was
went.
like, yeah, I can.
To build on your question, my wife asked me the same thing earlier this year. I love teaching. You know, health insurance helps out a lot, you know, with young kids. And, you know, I started teaching in Bridgeport because that's where I was born and raised. You know, and one of the things that really angers me is when people go, you teach in Bridgeport?
Oh, that makes my
isn't
blood
that
boil. Because I
something?
work in the school system too here in Bridgeport.
Listen,
Like, you're
so I
getting
used
scared?
to live on Garfield Avenue, okay? And I taught at Central 6 blocks. My first day, I was working with this girl, and I was walking in, and she's like, "Oh my God, do you work here?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I was so scared, like I didn't know whether to like keep my pocketbook in the car or take it with me, but I don't know if they're gonna break it in. But if I'm holding it, then they can assault me. You understand? Like we're in
Wow.
Bridgeport." And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Where did you park your car?" I said, "Nah, it's still in my house. I live right over there."
Yeah.
Quick. Oh, I didn't mean I
Yeah. Listen,
Yes.
I grew
Wow.
up, you know, in Bridgeport. I went to Luis Munoz Marin, Roberto Clemente, Pembroke, Harding, and you
Way back in the day.
had- this is by Father Panic
Father
Village.
Panic Village.
So,
Building 945. You know?
Yeah, I mean, no lie. We had to remember the.
don't look at me.
No,
know.
we're still too young.
Okay, this reminds me
Nah,
of
you know,
back in the
I'm a-
'60s, the
I'm a
Cold War,
Bridgeport
where
historian, you
where,
know.
where kids used to, you know, hide under their tables because, right? No,
The bomb.
we used to, the
Yeah,
bomb.
yeah. No, I
We
got
used
you
to
there.
do
Yeah,
that.
history teacher, I got you on that.
We used to do right. Thank you.
So you remember?
Not
He
by
remembers
experience.
reading about it. Right. No, but we used to do the same thing when the nations and the Latin kings used to shoot up the damn place.
Mhm.
That was a normal thing in our school in Roberto Clemente, where like just duck and get under the
Yeah.
tables, you know, and that shit was crazy. But we had teachers where you run into teachers that just they were so old they were just can't wait for retirement. They didn't give a
Yeah.
fuck. But you had some really good teachers that actually told the stories. Like, listen, I used to teach in Westport. I used to teach in Greenwich. I'd rather teach in Bridgeport.
I actually work with a couple individuals from out of town. One's actually from Darien, and I was like, Darien? You're from Darien? She goes, yeah, I can't stand those people. I was like, wow, okay.
Unfortunately, they don't get paid as well. But
I was like,
know.
you rather teach here? She goes, yeah, I rather teach here.
Well, that's one of the things that, you know, I graduated from Fairfield Prep, you know, back in 2008, and when I was started to get the education thing, a lot of them hit me and said, hey, you know, we love bringing back old students. And you know, I sat down with my wife and I was like, you know, like, it's less pay. It might be a little less stress in terms of behavior and things like that. But the big thing that kept me from doing it was those kids don't need me.
Mm-hmm.
You end up being more of a guider when you're at one of those kind of schools. Every kid in there is going to do well. Every kid there, you know, are there a few that I could benefit? Absolutely. But I know that every day I go to school that I'm going to be impacting a bunch of kids. You know, this year we had 3 classes, 28 students in each class. For anybody listening, that's the state maximum is 29. You know, and I know that every day I'm there. You know, first day of school is always the best one because you get one of the kids that stands up to you and goes, "You don't know what I've been through. You can't sit up here and talk to me about it." This year, that one was rough. She was, whoo, she hit me quick, hard, 3-piece. I was like, "What are you doing?" And so I said, "No." I said, "You know, we grew up, me and my brother, we grew up over near the Marina Village. You know, we grew up on Atlantic Street. Then we went over to Milne. Then we were over by Poplar. You know, not until we hit the high school age did we end up moving to the North End. You know." We were telling the stories yesterday. If I touched the front door to walk outside, my dad.
Now at this point, it's hard to fit in,
Yeah,
right? Because you're not.
kids are running outside with bikes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we never left the house when we were younger. And again, shout out to the parents for doing a great job. You know, my parents have done a phenomenal job. Me and my sister, both teachers. You know, all of us doing well. But you know, we went through the years where you never went outside. You know. It was one of those things. I remember the first time I touched the door. I went to go walk out the front door, probably to see a bird or something. I don't know. And my dad changed my life. Cocotazo, blah. I didn't see straight for 3 weeks. I thought I needed glasses. All because I tried to open the front door. You know? And so it's good for me because I get to bring that to the school. You know? The students hear it. They learn it. You know? And then if we ever do field trips around Bridgeport, I run into people that I know and they're like, You know that guy? Like, yeah, that's Big Dog. We used to live next door to each other. You know Brian? Yeah, and they're like, he's huge. I'm like, yeah, I taught him everything he knows about football.
But isn't it amazing the moment they find out you're from the same neighborhoods as them?
Oh, yeah.
Their attitude changes immediately. I have had the same thing. They look at last year I had a kid tell me, I mean, real hard ass. I mean, this kid is like certified gang member. Police knew about him. Like it was crazy. Like 8th grade, like 8th graders, crazy. And it's, you know, I try to act tough. I was like, dude, you ain't gonna scare me. Like, you know, dude. He goes, some, and then eventually we ended up, you know, building a relationship together. And where are you from, anyways? I'm from the Hollow. I grew up in the Hollow. He goes, what? I said, yeah, I grew up hanging out in the G, like, you know, born and raised. Like that's my hood. He goes, I thought you were from Derby. I said Derby out of all of the places.
You know what I get?
Like,
Trumbull.
You get Trumbull
all the time. And then they don't hear my name, and they're like, you must be Italian.
You know what bugs me is that you take that same kid, drop him in Bridgeport in 1990, 1991. Yo, they wouldn't survive. I mean, like, it was rough.
I mean, I think it's different nowadays, though.
Dude,
To me, personally, I think they would. And I think they would cause a lot of trouble to the gangsters from the past. Because you know what? The kids nowadays
Don't care.
Yeah,
don't
that's
care.
exactly. Yeah,
There's zero care. Like, back in the day, you had to have a real beef in order for somebody to come at you.
I disagree.
Feel me? You had to have a real
Dude,
beef,
I
like,
had bullets come in my house for no. I mean, like,
randomly, right? Just random bullets, but you weren't the target. These kids, I look at them crazy, and they're pulling out a gun at you. You know, old gangsters, unless you have some true issues with them, they're not gonna. You know what I mean? Like, I think they would cause so much more trouble back then.
No,
You
kids
know what I mean? Like,
kids lose their mind over anything in the classroom right now.
oh, right now
I've got a
bananas.
few students that I mean, like.
I guess
they
that's
walk
where
into
I'm
the-
misinterpreting. That's what I mean. Like they're so sensitive, where, like, you know, they're getting upset for no reason, or they're getting up for the stupid reason.
Yeah. No, I had a girl throw a book, lose her mind, toss a desk because I said good morning. But is it a good morning? I was like, slow down. Like, I'm just, my bad.
good about it.
Yeah, it was. She lost her mind, and that's some of the students you get nowadays. Why? Because it's been enabled throughout the years.
Listen, let's not close out this show.
On a student thing, cheesesteaks.
Gang.
Hey, let's talk about.
He said gang.
No, let's touch on a more funnier light. Talk about your Stress Factory. You were recently on the show on Stress
Wait,
Factory.
when was this? First of all,
Clap it up. You did
So-
good.
and when's the next show?
All right, so
Hector Medina.
yeah, so me and my wife were fooling around one night. We made a bet. I lost the bet, so I had to do a open mic night. So as you can see from tonight, I talk a lot, and so I went up and did it. You know, I had a fun time. You know, I talked about the first time I did it. I talked about my wife scaring me a lot. And when we were, yeah, I'm real skittish. Like, if they clapped right now, I would break your mic. Yeah, so that's why they've been nice. And so
Rick, he didn't mean that, Rick. He won't break your mic, all right? If you're listening, he's not going to break your mic.
and so what ended up happening is one night we were house sitting, and I went to the bathroom, and she tried to scare me when I came out the bathroom. Cold knocked her right out because I get scared. I'm skittish. So I saw something come at me when I opened the door. She's supposed to be sleeping down the hall.
Boom.
Night.
So then I go running to the room to check on her. Like, I thought somebody broke in, and she wasn't there. I turned the light on. She's in the middle of the hallway. And so, but this last time, it was all about being a teacher. It was there's a comedian called Hank Denson. He does this thing hashtag Pay Teachers More. He went on a field trip, and his story is hilarious. I won't tell the story. I'll let you guys listen to it. But so they asked me to open for him, and so I did an actual skit. Like, it wasn't 3 minutes at an open mic. There was people in the crowd, and it was pretty fun. And so I'm gonna pursue it a little more. You know, they asked me if I want to come back. I said absolutely. Hank told me, you know, hey, I've got some events coming up where I might need some help. You know, he's from Massachusetts. And so I was like, listen. And so he's a real cool guy, real classy guy. He goes, well, let me get your phone number. I was like, oh, you don't want to like click up on like Instagram or Facebook? Because, you know, famous people get real touchy about the phone numbers.
Yeah.
And so he's like, no, listen, take my phone number. So he called me on the spot. So I know famous people.
Yeah, I remember seeing his post, which was probably a couple of hours before his show started or something like that. Like,
Mine?
what? Yeah, like
yeah.
your first open mic.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right.
I didn't want too many people to know about
Yeah,
that
like,
first
what
one.
the fuck? Am I reading this right? Like, Hector.
Dude, you know how many emails I got through Bridgeport for the second one? they were like, wait, you're doing an open mic? I got phone calls from people who I used to work with back in the day. Not an open mic, the thing. They're like, listen, I saw a flyer. You're looking a little sweaty on the flyer, bro. You doing a second one? I said, yeah, I'm doing a second one. Oh, I can't make it, but I was just wondering.
Yeah. So any future dates on any of that?
So I'm waiting back to hear because they have a teacher appreciation night on June 20th.
Yeah.
So if they're listening, I'm interested.
There you go.
But you know,
You want to call Vinny? I'll call Vinny for you.
Vinny Brandt?
Yeah. You want me to call him for you?
Man, listen,
He was hilarious. That guy's
Don't
hilarious.
you know?
He is
He
stupid
is
funny.
So funny. We went to
Yeah.
go see.
Oh my
Went to
god.
go see Pete Davidson when he walked out.
Oh,
when he
I
walked
heard
out.
You were there.
Sensitive as
Dude,
fuck.
I saw
that's right.
I
You
saw
were-
the
you were-
live. My guy went live when that
He
happened.
was recording it. He was looking right at his phone.
Yeah, he looked right at my phone. If I
Yeah.
show you the video,
I was
Vinny-
watching. I
Pull
watched
your
it.
phones out. Go live right
Yeah.
now. Tell me when you're ready.
Hard.
Let me tell you,
Going
that's
hard.
the night that I lost the bet. My wife goes, I bet you he walked out. Cause the first comedian came out was hilarious.
Yeah, he was
Black guy, grew up in a Jewish neighborhood. He had us rolling.
That's already comedy.
Yeah.
Marcia's look like, huh?
He was funny
That
as
one
hell.
guy was probably top 3 comedians I've ever seen live. He was great, and so I was so excited to see the next people. And so nobody's coming out. And when we were there, whenever that door opened, there was a horticulturist. Is that the right word? There must have been somebody in the back. They opened the door. I wanted wings. So and so I said no. What happens is they all must be like passed out in the back, like just trying to put some light comedy in it. Don't hurt me, Pete. And nobody came. So my wife's like, he walked out. I said no, he didn't. She goes, I bet you. I said bet. I signed a blank check, so I didn't know what I was betting yet. So then he comes out and he says Pete left because I came out earlier and I guess I said something that upset him, and he didn't say anything bad. All he said was don't make fun of him when he's on stage, like don't heckle him. And I had already read that online that he hates being heckled. He has walked out of shows before, and so he walked out and I bought the tickets because my brother is a huge Pete Davidson fan. Pete Davidson signed on Saturday. His show was sold out by Sunday. There was like 380 people packed into Stress Factory.
Wow.
I sneezed, 4 people got sick. And so for him not to show up, and then he goes on Instagram Live and says, oh, I'm giving free tickets to everybody. I'm going to do a show somewhere in Bridgeport.
Somewhere.
Bro, it's been, what, a month and a half? Where's my show? Because he said it would happen within the week.
He did. He said by the end of the week he was going to get you guys
So
a
my
show.
thing
Yeah.
is, you know what? Be a stand-up guy. He should have gone back to Vinny and said, you know what? I was feeling some type of way. I misinterpreted what happened. My security guard lied. That's another
Right, because he
thing.
said his security guy or his
So he said, Vinny said that when he knocked on the door, Pete was busy. He, you got to pass them. This is what I plan on saying tonight. And the security guard said, yeah, that's been approved. Yeah, we're good. Again, this is all according to someone, right? Only 3 people know. Only Pete knows, only Vinny knows, and the security guard. And so, it ended up not going down the way we wanted.
The venue was hilarious.
And so my big thing is I was hoping that Pete really, reached out, because Vinny tried to reach out multiple times on Facebook, on Instagram, on different news articles. What happens the next day? There's tons of news articles saying Pete Davidson walks out because the owner was an asshole.
Right.
He's just a sensitive Sally,
Yeah.
and that's all it is.
Like I said, I wish he would have called them back, gotten everybody back in there, because not for nothing, people started walking out the second they found out Pete wasn't going to be there. Yep. So on top of, Vinny ended up refunding us all of our ticket money.
And you know what? That's the beauty of Vinny Brand and his brand.
Yeah.
Is the fact that the moment anything goes wrong within his club, I've been there a bunch of times. I went there within the first few shows, saw Sinbad, D-Ray, Godfrey. I mean, D-Ray sucked, by the way. The first one, he sucked. I don't know about the second one. The first one, I was falling asleep in VIP first, row. I was at the stage, I was falling asleep.
No.
But Vinny, the Sinbad show ran behind, gave everybody free tickets.
Yeah.
There was another show where the AC went, gave people free tickets.
Yeah, he refunded us and gave us free tickets to a Thursday or a Friday night show.
Yeah.
Any show.
Nice.
Yeah. And so
I think he does that automatically.
So my big thing is I was really hoping that.
Sorry,
I got talking to himself in the corner.
So I was really hoping that he went back to the Stress Factory, because on top of having to refund all that stuff, all the people who left are now not ordering drinks, are now not ordering food.
Losing
you know
out
what I mean?
big time.
And then on top of that, Pete Davidson has 2.4 million followers. And so putting one negative thing out there tells, and then people are groupies, people really stand behind, I don't know. I was really upset after that, but I've been back to them, I've been back 5 times since then, it's a great spot, you know.
It's a great location.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, I got free tickets too. I gotta freaking use them. Jesus.
Yeah, we have
How
to
many
use
do
ours
you
too.
have?
What's up? Yeah, I was about to say.
Do
I
it.
see you.
Two?
My bad. I literally just threw away 2 tickets because I randomly
Cut off
found them.
mic
I was
3.
like,
Listen, me and your phone just be like, yo, this guy.
I'm
opens for
Mike
people.
2.
Like
Alright,
2?
yeah, I'm
Cut
Mike
off
2.
2 and 3. I think he's 3.
He's 5.
5. Cut all of them up.
So,
Cut his
fellas,
mic off.
any updates? I'm sorry, any upcoming dates? Any announcements?
Where
any
will you be
shout-outs?
next? Where can we
Yes.
spot the truck?
All right, I was hoping you guys asked that, but now I got to open the calendar. So now we're gonna do a shout out for my sister. You know, when I took this over, I'm really good at, you know, getting new events and cooking and like setting up schedules for us. But like I didn't write anything down our first year, and so we messed up on a lot of events. Like we didn't show up on time, things like that. And so my sister this year took down all the information. Was like, you're done. Like you're not booking anything anymore. I'm gonna do all of this stuff, and she's done it. No hold. Like she hasn't asked for anything. Went ahead and did it. Like today wouldn't have been possible without her. Tomorrow wouldn't have been possible without her. She's doing a really good job. So shout out to my sister. So
Chantel.
yeah.
That's her name, Chantel.
Oh, yeah. You're going to shout her
Good
out
job,
already, you know?
Chantel.
So like tomorrow we're actually gonna be in Fairfield, which is pretty close. We're gonna be at the Fairfield Warehouse, the Fairfield Theater Warehouse. We're gonna be doing a pop-up event. Next week we're in Eden's Beauty, which is gonna be a little festival inside Stamford. And then we're gonna start doing the Black Rock concerts again. Black Rock does these concerts right in it's in a church little
St.
thing.
Anne's.
In St. Anne's Church.
Where the farmer's market is usually held.
Yep. And so we pulled up last week. Last year we did it. Me and my cousin Jimmy. Yeah. Me and my cousin Jimmy did it last year, and a couple of my friends had said that like 100 people show up. It's not that big of a deal. And so I was like, oh, you remember how many people showed up? We got slammed. We ran out of everything. That's the only event where we ran out of everything.
Because y'all didn't stock up enough, right?
Yeah,
Y'all
because like I told
them.
100 people. So then
Yeah.
my other cousin shows up, little Ricky, and he goes, bro, you only have 2 people in this truck right now? And I was like, I didn't know what we were getting into. I didn't know. And he was like, yeah, this place gets packed. So, you know, we're going to be there on the 18th of June. But yeah, we're going to start, you know, we normally post our schedules Sunday night. You know, and then we post on the day of to remind everybody where we're going to be. So anybody who wants to send me an email, just follow us on Instagram, because that's where we post everything. And then it posts on our Facebook. But it's at M&M Steaks, not the ampersand. It's the word and. M Steaks.
I just want to know, talking about Black Rock, are you going to do the Porch Fest this year? There's my question.
I haven't looked into it.
Black Rock Porch Fest.
No, I know
Amazing,
it.
yeah.
I haven't looked into it yet. But now that you brought it up, I'm gonna make my sister listen to
be
this
there.
whole thing.
Yes.
I'm gonna let Chantel work her magic. My sister got us into events.
Chantel, make sure they're
Like
there.
3 days,
I'm gonna be
20
there.
Chantel, pencil them in.
Yeah, she's ruthless. She like, I'd never thought about emailing people direct. She'll like look at a company and be like, all right, CEO, cool. Let me send you an email real quick. We go to company. And I'm like, Chantel, that's rude.
Play.
And then they answer back. They're like, yeah, we have 200 employees. Would you like to come July 5th? And I'm like,
She went to this lady's back door. She was like, I need to be there.
you want a food truck?
I need to be there. She got
Creepy
the
with
check ready with the pen.
Wow.
She was ready.
Man.
All right, and so shout out to Chantel. How can the audience or the listeners follow you?
Yeah, so like I was saying before, at M&M Steaks, you know, and on any of the websites, you know, our email's mnmsteaks@gmail.com. You know, it's all really, really simple. You can also call or text, you know, to the phone number that we have on all the websites, but it's 203-522-0922.
So we can text in our order.
So during the school year, no. So this is the problem. Again, being a teacher, during the school year, I'm inside my classroom, and so.
This is your personal number you just gave?
Well, yeah, because this is what we use for all the things.
Oh.
Why, you gonna text me?
No, well.
That's his side number.
You're giving everybody listening.
Wait, are you ready? It's the wedding band.
Wait. I don't care.
But yeah, no, I use this for all the. Listen, I have no friends, so when it goes off,
So you know it's an order going in.
If it goes off, listen. If it's playing The Exorcist, wife's calling.
Oh no.
If it's playing Game of Thrones, business call.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so you know, that's how we. Best way to do it is through Instagram or email. You know, because if you call, the thing becomes this: a lot of people call for the events, and then I have to have a conversation. And if I don't have a piece of paper and a pen in front of me, when I hang up that phone, it's erased. I don't remember. And so I tell people to do the email because then there's a trace of it, you know? Sometimes I forget. Like, we look at events in the calendar before Chantel took over. And it's like New Haven, 1 to 2. No address, no phone number, no email.
So I guess we're just driving to New Haven.
We get off the exit in New Haven and park.
out the window.
So then I go to email. I go into my email and I type New Haven, you know, like June 1st. Nothing. I go on Facebook. Nothing. I go on Instagram. Nothing. I'm like, please call me today at some point. Because it's the day before we look at it, before Chantel. And so I'm like, please call me today to let me know. And so they normally do. They're like, hey, I just want to confirm that you're coming to New Haven tomorrow. I'm like, absolutely. Can you just remind me of the address? Because I want to make sure I have it written down correctly.
Chantel, if you're listening, maybe you should start like a company of just
Setting up
scheduling
schedules.
and everything
And-
for food trucks. Why not?
Smart.
Also,
Yeah,
You
listen,
can
doing
call
her
a
thing.
one-stop shop and say, "Hey, I want this food truck and that food truck and this food truck." Hey, why
here's
not?
another idea.
There you go. Don't be like Zuckerberg. All right, I'm the
Zuckerberg.
lots of Watson
another
twins,
idea.
whatever their names are.
A safe parking space
For food trucks?
for food trucks.
So
Yeah.
the owner of Taco Loco was Zachary. We were talking about that. He said one of his ideas was to open up like a stop shop in Stamford.
There you go.
Like
Car
have a
wash.
building. You ready? Have a building. No. He had a different idea. Have a building where food trucks can drive in. Right? They have parking spots inside, and then it's like a little garage. You can plug in your truck. You can fill in your gas. You can take care of your propane. All of it can be done in one spot.
Look at that.
And then in the middle, he said to have like 15 tables. And so what happens is while you're doing all of this, you can also have hours open. So the people stop to this place, come in, sit at the tables, and you've got like 4 trucks in a row.
Oh, an indoor food heaven like New Haven.
Yeah.
I was thinking Lindley Street and Capitol.
Oh, yeah. they
Lindley
have
Street and
a lot of
Capitol,
space.
that open
That big
lot.
open lot.
That open lot.
They got
I was
Isn't
thinking,
there
I was
like
thinking,
one food truck
Bridgeport.
there?
Bridgeport needs
No, you're
something
thinking on
like
the other
that.
side.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm
It's
talking
like
about-
one random
No, you're
food
talking about La
truck.
Cabana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like
right,
Araña?
you're
No,
talking
no,
right by
I'm
the
talking about
highway.
right behind it
Right.
where they
Yeah.
built the new bridges on the highway.
Yep.
Okay.
I was like, yo,
Oh yeah.
Bridgeport needs something like this. The
Yeah.
problem is at all the major exits or the areas you can't do that. Seaside, there's really nowhere you can do that many things with the
Yeah, but
parking.
Bridgeport needs to redo
Right.
its health department before it looks at
Oh
anything
no,
like
yeah,
that.
they needs to redo the whole government. But I was driving by there. I said, wait.
We just said that today.
I was like,
Huge
that
spot.
property is perfect. Has the right amount of space for however much parking you need. Up against the highway, you can line up crap load of trucks.
Yeah.
And it's right on and off.
And guess
Route
what?
8
You could
connector.
and you could do little festivals every weekend during the summer, and you could charge
Why
each
not?
truck
Money.
No, you know, you charge each truck $100 to show up. You know, that lot's being used for nothing right now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so even you get, let's say 5 trucks. You know, you make a quick 500. We could use that on something. You know, rack that up, and then during the winter you can decide to upgrade it some more.
Well, look at New Haven, Food Heaven in New Haven. That place for years, back when like just the Flagman and one
Is that
other
Long
truck
Wharf?
was with the
Yeah,
Long
Long
Wharf.
Wharf,
It's called
right.
Food Heaven. Food Truck Heaven, sorry.
Just a
Food Truck
Flagman.
Heaven. It was just a Flagman forever and like one taco truck, and it was just a dirt area, and they were parked on the side of the street.
Yeah.
And now it's actually something where the state itself
Yep.
and New Haven combined
Yep.
created that parking lot, and they actually have electricity.
Yeah, they're not
Like,
allowed
they
to
have-
use generators no more.
No, they're not. No, they get charged a monthly rate. Like so,
Yeah,
you
they
get charged a
they got
rent.
rent.
You get a rent, but that rent comes with the free use of the not free use because you're paying for it, but the use of the electricity, right? I think
Dumpster.
you have the dumpster use,
Yep,
so all your
you
trash
do.
and everything gets thrown over there.
Yep, and then
And
they
I
have
don't
all
know
the-
about water.
they
Does
have-
water?
well-
They have running water or
No, but they do have they have drains there because one of the other big things with food trucks is gray water. You know, a lot
Yep, the
of
gray
people
water.
go. What happens when you're using the things? They have like 60 drains. I was there. We did the food truck festival there. They had like 60 drains where you could do it. I bet you at that little stop, the little cafe stop. I bet you they have a hose on the side of that building.
Oh, the
They
one
have
right
to.
after,
welcome
like going
center.
towards the
Yeah, the
new
welcome-
that new marina that they
Yeah,
just built there.
because
yeah.
it's still part of that spot. But
welcome
yeah, they
center,
pay for
yeah.
those spots. They have
Yeah.
spots, and you know, people go.
Why not? And that's crazy. Like the city itself can just develop that spot. Just make a big parking lot, some electricity, and boom. It's not like it can't be done. There's businesses all up and
Yeah.
down that road. No, water companies right across the street.
How hard could it to be put a couple posts so that we could plug in? You know what I mean?
Couple posts to plug in and a parking lot. That's
And-
literally all you got to
you
do.
ready?
A parking lot,
One
and a post.
dumpster, 5 garbage cans in the middle. You're good.
That's it.
What did you invest? You'll make that back your first 2 weeks.
And it just charge the trucks monthly like they do up there, and then boom, you've done something with the area, you developed it, and now you're giving everybody else an opportunity to build
Every
I'm
person that likes this idea, follow M&M Steaks on Instagram. we
Underscore Theo Fridge too. I'm just saying. That's what we're talking about.
You mentioned
In
food
partnership.
festival, food truck festival. You're gonna be at the right here, shouting.
Yeah.
Shelton
So,
River
so we did it last year, and we're doing it again this year. Yeah, it's a good event. One of the, I don't want to say I don't like it, but they put it, which is good because some places don't. They put it in there that there's no exclusivity.
Exclusivity.
There we go. I put too many T's and Y's.
I wasn't gonna try.
And so what ends up happening is that if you have a Philly cheesesteak truck, and there might be another Philly cheesesteak truck. So it's one of those things that a lot of people don't put that in their things, So sometimes it can mess with your business, I've been to events where there's 3 gyro trucks, I love gyro trucks. I'll try all 3, but you're gonna mess with them a little bit.
Yeah.
But last year they had it set up perfectly. You know what I mean? They have all the trucks on the outside, then they put a couple trucks on the inside. So they have the method of it down. So I'm excited. Yeah, when I asked you where we were going today, you were like, "You remember that event you did last year?" Yeah, same thing.
Rio, anything going on? Any shout outs? Any announcements?
Nothing much. I'm just enjoying the cheesesteak here.
Yeah.
While you're talking, I was eating.
Yeah. Real quick, how can they follow you?
Love the cake snacks. Instagram. Check it out.
Marsha, how about you?
You guys can follow me on Love Breakfast with the underscore at the end.
When we having brunch?
I thought that was a
When
soul
we
swipe
having
mention.
brunch.
When
It's
you
the
throw
perfect time for outdoor brunch.
So you're hosting?
Not at my house. I heard that Manny has a really great backyard though.
Yeah.
With fresh vegetables.
I was gonna
and-
say fresh
Yeah.
mojitos, baby.
You
Just
got loofah. too.
Mojitos,
You got
mojitos.
got a pool, got
Get your
4
back
dogs you can
scrubbed.
play with. Like,
when you make your mojitos,
They're
I have
gonna love
I don't make them. The wife does.
when she makes them, talk to me through it. Like with the mint, she grinds it up with the thing.
Oh, with the muddler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I need to talk to her.
Yeah, sugar but here's the thing: instead of the regular sugar, she melts
give
it
out the secret
down so
ingredient.
that,
Yeah,
that
simple
way.
syrup, simple
Yeah, she
syrup,
makes a simple syrup, and so you're not crunching on sugar because generally you just crunch on the
So
sugar.
the next time
But-
she makes it, tell her instead of grinding the mojito leaves. A friend of mine went on a cruise to the Bahamas and they drink mojitos every day. When you grind it, you get some of the oil out. It might sit a little weird. Tell her to literally smack it. Put the,
Oh no, yeah, you smack it first
Yeah.
and then she muddles it.
Oh, he
Yeah,
hit the back of the hand. You saw that?
yeah. No, I'm Puerto Rican, Papi. You know, you get the front,
Oh, that's it.
and yeah. No, that's how she learned. She learned it in Puerto Rico. We went to
The Bacardi.
Bacardi factory, and then we went to it's actually one of the top 50 bars in the world. It's called La Factoria, which is in San Juan. And the bartender there was like one of those like super top notch bartenders.
Yeah.
Like he would take 10 orders and do all the drinks at once. So there was a little bit of wait, but he would do them all once, and you would see him taking his time and literally doing every step like so perfectly. And like, I mean, he was taking the mint leaves and he was slapping them.
Beating the shit.
And we're like, what is, yeah, he was. I mean, he was working it. Like we were like, what is going on? Like, and then she asked him, so why are you slapping it? And he explained the same thing. So you slap it and then
Rub
you
it down.
muddle it.
Yeah.
So he did both, and I was like, all right. And then we went to another spot, Mojito Lab at Luquillo. You get a 32-ounce
Yeah.
Chinese container full of mojito for like $10.
I'm gonna
Talk to me,
come.
Daddy.
I'm gonna request a list to visit.
Yeah, you need
Let
to
me-
make like a guide.
let me
We'll
know.
be there. We'll be there. in
Well, you got to
3 weeks.
follow
Yeah,
my
we're gonna be there.
Instagram. You got to
Right
follow
here.
my Instagram _ Theo Fridge if you want to know any
Well,
of that
listen,
stuff
you got to
right
put it
there.
before July 1st because from July 1st to July 10th,
I got you.
We're over there.
we're going to be in Puerto Rico for 10 days.
I got you
We gotta
guys.
get the Teal Fridge guide.
I got you. The Theo Fridge guide. You go on. You know what? I might make one of those and post it like tomorrow or
ASAP.
something.
Yeah, you
Get
have
some
to.
of that. Follow me on Instagram _ Theo Fridge. That's where you
if I
can
don't see
find
it,
me.
if I don't see it by
Yeah,
Wednesday,
fun.
I'm not going to be happy.
Well, if you don't follow me, you ain't gonna see it.
I
I think he wants to get blocked.
I feel like he is followed.
I'll follow you guys.
Well, don't follow.
Wow.
The only one I have is the M&M steaks. Like
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
I
follow
have
the
one.
steaks.
You don't already?
No, I'm going to. Dude, I barely follow. Listen, I barely
He ate
follow
all that.
anybody.
Wait, time out. He ate all that food, right?
Right now.
We talked about beers.
Listen, go to my Instagram page, and
And hit
I
block.
barely follow
He's
anybody.
like, follow me first, then I'm gonna follow you. He's gotta get a guarantee.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to get that. He's looking for it now.
Like for like.
He's blocking me once. I barely follow anybody like myself. Like I really don't.
He doesn't.
I don't follow.
Do I follow the page?
That's why I understand. I don't even
Following
follow myself.
876
Oh,
people.
Huh?
876 people.
Yeah.
Is how many people you
How many
follow?
people do have following me?
771.
Oh yeah. no.
One person.
Follow me. Go ahead.
You're already there.
He needs that.
That was like pre-Theo Fridge days. That was like Geraldo days.
And he could say he a comedian. He knows a comedian.
There you go. Now I know a comedian.
He's Night Owls? I'm seeing a video of us. Look. I look good tonight.
But yeah, I'll follow you guys. I'll make that for you.
Yo,
guys.
check me out. Dave'sAngrySauce.com.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, we need.
Yo, we're battling in a couple of weeks. So
I got the
Oh, yeah,
sticker.
I
I
need
got the
bottle.
sticker on my car.
I heard.
Yeah. No,
Yo, they were so excited.
Look at how cool the sticker is.
I love hot sauce.
So yeah, check me out. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook at Dave's Angry Sauce. Again, follow us. Late Night Potluck Show. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook.
Yes.
Check out. Do the search on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Check it out. All right. Listen, we're gonna wrap it up. Any last words?
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. No,
Thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, we had a
Great
great
time.
time.
You guys are awesome.
Great time.
Well,
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank
Peace.
you. Peace.
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 Thanks for listening.
Be sure to join us next time.
This is a Gorilla Podcast Network production.